Welcome to today's show. This is a weekly show for ZoeTV, and today you're going to enjoy an interview that we did with Julie Gerke and her mother, Melva Bergman. And they tell us a little bit about their experience with the beta testing and some of the other things. It's so interesting. Julie has a great story about herself, about her mother, and also about her daughter, who is a famous soccer player. So you really want to stay tuned for that. We also have an interview with Ross Higgins, our social pillar director. And he talks a little bit about what it means to be the social pillar director, how important it is on our campus, and some of the events that are coming up.
That's right. I think last week's show,
yes,
I've got a lot of feedback.
Yes.
A lot of it good. There were some questions, but what everybody really loved, and we're going to bring to you again today and every week, is the cooking tips.
Yes.
I was so hungry after watching those tacos, and now we're going to have another one.
Did a great job.
So you're going to get Jake this week.
Yes.
And we're going to be able to show a fitness tip that's going to be on balance that I'll bring you.
That's right.
And but between the food and the cooking and the interviews, just another great show.
Make sure that you stay tuned because it's a great show.
Hello friends, my name is Jacob Van Kooten. I am the executive chef for Glencroft Center for Modern Aging. Today we are going to be making a cucumber and tomato arugula salad. So for this salad that we're going to be preparing today, we're going to have fresh arugula. We're going to have some vine-ripe tomatoes, cucumbers, red onions, a basil pesto that we make in-house, and feta cheese. All right, so our first step that we're going to do is we're going to take the core out of the tomato. The core is typically right off the rind. It is a little too hard to digest. It doesn't have any flavor or any nutritional value, so we want to get rid of that. We then are going to take the tomato and cut it in half, and we are going to make some nice wedges. We're going to cut this into basically 12 pieces total. So they're nice big bite-sized pieces. All right, so we're going to take our stainless steel bowl, put all of our tomatoes in the bowl. We're then going to take our cucumber. We're going to slice off the ends. I like mine a little bit more decorated, so I'm going to take a peeler and I'm just going to give it some nice stripes. This is going to be more for the visual appeal. Some like the skin, some do not. So then I'm going to take my cucumber and slice it long ways. And then I'm going to slice it long ways again. So I end up quartering the whole cucumber lengthwise. I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch cubes. One cucumber goes a long way. It's about 4 tomatoes to 1 cucumber. So we're just in the bowl like so. So now we're going to take the red onion. So we're going to take off the cores, half the onion, and then take off that first layer. You don't want this, it's not very good to eat the skin. We're going to then half, and we're going to do some really thin half moons. You want to take your time with this, get nice thin slices. So we're just going to use half of that onion. It's a very simple salad. It's something that we can do at home. So our next step is we're going to take some of that fresh basil pesto. How we make that is basil, garlic, walnuts, lemon juice, and a little bit of salt. And we put that in a blender. We blend that up till nice and smooth so you get this nice consistency. So we're now going to take that basil and we're going to add about 2 ounces to our salad of the tomatoes, the onions, and the cucumbers. 2 ounces is about half of this. And you're going to just gently toss that. You're going to try to break the onions apart, make sure that there's nice even coverage, and really get the flavors of that basil and that garlic and get it all mixed in. So all those cucumbers take on those flavors, all those tomatoes get those flavors, and you get all those colors mixed in together. Okay, so once we have a nice coverage Now we can basically get ready to plate our salad. You can make this up to 2 days prior. The tomatoes, the cucumbers, and the onions will absorb a lot of that really good flavor. It's all gonna meld into one component basically. So now we're gonna take our arugula and we're going to add the arugula to this mixture. And the reason that we do that is so the arugula can take on some of that nice pesto flavor as well. It can get nice and coated because nobody likes a dry salad. So you're just really working your way around the bowl, kind of cupping it and folding it over. So our next kind of second to last step here is we want to work on working from the center of the plate. A lot of these heavier ingredients like the tomatoes and the cucumbers are going to naturally kind of fall to that bottom. So you want to get some of those nice mustard greens, get some nice height. You want to see that color. And then top it off with some of that fresh goat cheese feta. Tomato cucumber salad. Again, my name is Jacob Van Kooten, and I'm the executive chef for Glencroft Center for Modern Aging, and this was tomato arugula cucumber salad.
All right, guys, for today's fitness tip, I wanted to really focus hard and heavy on balance. We do so many things for balance down here in the Performance Center, but one that we thought you could easily do at home and maybe incorporate in your day-to-day life would be this exercise right here. So we're back with Tom, and what Tom is going to show us is one of the techniques we use to work on his balance, to work on his core, and to work on his strength. And what you can see is here, safety first is obvious for us, right? So a chair that does not have wheels, or a couch, or a table, or a countertop, something that cannot move, needs to be in play, okay? And what you can see is he's holding it with the one hand, and then the opposite leg is gonna lift off the ground, okay? So Tom, go ahead and lift that foot up. What we have him do is hold that off that ground for anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 seconds, okay? What I like to do with Tom is throw a little wrinkle at it because he's such a good athlete. I'll have him hold for about 10 seconds, and then I'll say, Tom, close those eyes. So he shuts those eyes. Now all of a sudden those proprioceptive muscles have to engage a little bit differently, and he's really concentrating on that balance. Now Tom, lift that left knee a little higher, 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 higher. Keep those eyes closed. Good. Okay. Now there's a lot of strength element in place. Okay, so if you're at home, you obviously got stability, holding onto something. Eyes are open to start. Once you are good at that, that eyes closed technique is critical. This is a very advanced technique, lifting this high, okay? But for us, being that he's such a good athlete, I can incorporate his core a lot more into this exercise with him working on his posture with this kind of strength right here. Okay, go ahead and relax. Okay, now let's switch to the other side. So you're gonna see that same element in play, okay? Where he's gonna lift that foot up. Good, eyes are open, concentrating. And what I say to you guys at home is, if you're doing this in your apartment or casita or wherever, eyes open, find something to stare at. Find a focal point that you're really targeting in on. And once you feel pretty good about this, then close those eyes. Go ahead, Tom, close those eyes. Okay, really good. Now lift that right knee up into my hand, higher, higher, good. And then we can do some things a little different. I can say, bring it back down, all the way to the ground, and then right back up. 5 times, go. 1, 2, good. Eyes are closed, look great. 4, and hold it, hold it. Now keep it there. Now I want you to kick this foot forward, bring it back down. So this kicking motion, I want you 10 in a row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, core's engaged, 7, 8, 9, and relax, okay? So you can see Tom, in an advanced example, shows you guys an eyes open technique, an eyes closed technique, but at the end of the day, even as good an athlete as he is, he's holding something, okay? Safety first, right? So for us, the object of this is to work on your balance. So if you're at home and you can only get that foot this far off the ground, that's okay, it's great. Hold on to something, barely lift it. If you can only lift it for a second and you gotta reset it, lift it, reset it, you'll get better. Okay, but we ask you to try these at home. Try a couple a week until you get a little bit better, and then we can progress. But the balance, guys, is your number one thing you can work on from a fall prevention standpoint. We'll see you next week.
So the social pillar, it targets the quality of our residents on campus, interaction, engagement. And today we're going to be talking with the head of our social pillar, Ross Higgins. I don't know that many of you may know him, but we are going to talk to him about what it means to be in charge of the social pillar and what he has coming up and things that we're already doing. So Ross, welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So what does the social pillar mean to you?
The social pillar, we've been developing it for 5.5 years now.
That's right.
And in a previous conversation somewhere, I don't even remember where, but mentioned Glencroft being in all the right ways is quite a beast. It's massive.
Absolutely.
And you most definitely know that by now.
I do know that by now.
Most definitely have known that.
Yes.
And that the beauty of the pillars is that it actually gives some form and shape and structure where you can visibly see how big this beast is.
Right.
The social pillar, it really it touches everybody. You know, it has obviously an effect on our residents, but it's our staff too.
That's right.
You know,
absolutely.
that it has grown in such a way where there's a lot of staff involvement now, you know, and we have been, I believe, very successful in letting it morph. I was looking at old files today from 2014, and we were doing some great stuff back then. And what we're doing today is similar, but it
it's so
continues
much
to
better.
evolve
Yeah.
based on the crowd that we have,
right.
what they need, you know. And as we have talked about many times, we try to. I love Legos. 50 years old, I still will play with Legos. I don't have to be pushed. And it's amazing how one little box of Legos can be snapped together in so many different ways.
That's right.
Our population on this campus, there's a lot of Legos out there. And what we have one day is not what we have the next day. And so we try to keep on snapping and re-snapping so it's a match for our crowd. Some of the stuff that we offer program-wise, we've already done it once. It died down. Now we're bringing it back for another wave. It's just the way it works. And so it's never ending. It does.
Right.
There's not one set strategy for the social pillar other than morphing and changing.
Right. And I think one of the greatest testimonies to exactly what he just said was Friday night at the carnival. And if you missed this campus carnival, you really missed out, because it literally took in employees, it took in family members, it took in Providence Place, our independent living. It was beautifully orchestrated by this man and his beautiful assistant, Tiffany. And it was a great night. And it just shows you how that event started maybe on a much smaller scale and now has just grown into this wonderful event.
The first one we ever did was in the Performance Center.
Really?
The whole entire thing was there.
Oh my goodness.
And then it grew to there, plus the auditorium,
Yeah.
and then obviously...
Yeah, it was an amazing sight to see all those orange shirts out there.
Yes.
With
yeah.
the ZoeLife on the back, and everybody just smiles.
Yes.
And Providence Place come out, and it was just one big family out there.
And the activity, the people that are involved, and they feel good, and they're excited to be a part of something like that. And I think that's something that ZoeLife has helped with, and Ross started, as he said, years and years and years ago. So
had a conversation with one of our teenager off-campus volunteers is wearing the orange shirt, and they're like, "What is ZoeLife?" I was like, "You're doing it."
That's right.
That's right.
It's how we do what we do
Yes.
around here. And
That's
you're
right.
a part of it.
It's our
Culture.
Yeah,
It's
our
who we
culture.
are.
One thing I think is super cool that I want to get out and kind of let Ross explain is, you know, the social pillar and all the activities and the big weeks and all of that stuff. That is ZoeLife, and that's under the social pillar. But when we talk about the university approach and having the social pillar context to small group, intimate gatherings where knowledge is passed pass, right? No matter what the topic.
Right.
It's intellectual, emotional. But what I watched Ross do with the social pillar in these small group settings, I want to hear you expand on, because when I kind of listen and all I hear is laughter, it was just like people having fun in here. And I'm like, how many? There's 16 people in there. And I'm like, what are they doing? And it was like, they're getting access to this guy who's usually providing these large gatherings in this more intimate way that everybody came out and goes, I need more of that. That was awesome. So give us some context to what that involved.
Well, laughter goes a long way at any stage of life. You're a child, you need to laugh. As a young adult, you need to laugh. You can go through every phase of the human life and you need it.
That's right.
When you don't do it, you don't realize how much you have needed it until all of a sudden you do it. And so our senior population, there's about 400 reasons why they can be down every day.
Of course.
And that's every joint they have, every pore, every there's just a billion reasons just to be just down. And so much of the pillar system and the performance and everything, it knocks a lot of stuff out and it helps lift the spirits. And so when you get them into a small group like this, and you can remind them that quite honestly, laughter is God-given. It's by design, it's woven inside of you. And that regardless of your age, it's okay to be a little silly, to do things that maybe don't logically make sense, but socially in that moment, in that place, it makes perfect sense. And then it's like, it's the amoeba effect. It just adds on and it grows and grows. Until everybody is captured in that moment. And I mean, that laughter, it was neat to watch, when people sign up. Those that know me, yep, we'll do it. And then you got some that are like, wow, I don't know who he is, whatever. And they put their name down. They'll come in, they'll sit, they'll be skeptical, kind of quiet, reserved. They're like, oh my, what is going on? And then they let the shield down, and they engage, and they're having conversation and fun conversation with everybody around. And next thing you know, they're louder than the ones that were starting off loud in the first place. And so I just personally believe there's healing qualities in fun and laughter.
And I think laughter and fun make people feel younger too. I do. I think it brings back the memories, just like you were saying, of a younger time possibly in their life. So.
I don't have the memory I used to, but back in the day, I did a great Bible study one time where I can't even get the word now. It was in Genesis, and it was one word. And you know how like the great Bible words, one word means like 87 of our English words.
Yes.
And it was God's relationship with Adam and Eve, and the word most bestly defined as frolic. And it was a playful mentality that existed between Adam and Eve and God in the Garden of Eden. I'm like, and that's the roots, that's the core. That you can't get more beginning and finite than that to say, you know what, this fits, it matters, it belongs, there's purpose, there's meaning. And
we do it consistently. We do this consistently. And with that thought, what's the next big thing that's coming up?
I don't like to talk about big things. We have
all right, what's a smaller,
see into 2019. We want to bring it down, but coming up immediately, probably Cowboy Campfire Cookout. That's a great night. It's simple. We have Gary Sprague and his horse Rusty come out. He plays on horseback, and they somehow are linked because that horse just knows where to wander, and Gary plays, and we have a great meal.
And the weather's beautiful.
It's nice, yes. Apollo High School also, they come out and help out.
Yes.
So it's a good night.
We love Apollo High School.
Really, right after that, it's Thanksgiving, and then that first full week in December is Winterfest.
Yes.
And that's a good one.
And during Winterfest, we'll have the Tree of Remembrance ceremony. So a lot going on, and it's just consistent. We just do this. This man is brilliant, and he creates the most wonderful experiences for everybody on campus. Ross?
One thing I would say is we just got back from San Diego into a large senior conference, and so much is talked about in wellness of having pillars or dimensions, and everybody is trying to figure out how to play nice in seniors, and what you figured out in the social pillar long before it was a pillar or Zoe or any of that.
Right.
It was already been happening, and that's
That's
what
right.
I always talk about with you is, and he was doing Zoe Life long before that idea was even around. It was just the way this activities
Yes.
is being presented
Everybody
and
would
everybody's
agree.
having fun, but now combining that with some of the other that they're working out and able to maybe do some more of your events, or when you take the field trips, like
what
I'm
I
going to use
mean.
my scooter instead
Everybody
of
is
needing my,
energized,
or
yes.
whatever the mobility device is. I feel like they all kind of lend to each other, and then we're hoping from the physical side that we're giving you more tools in their tool chest so that you can get more of them out and moving.
yeah.
And
Well, there was a classy show in the 80s, and there was one man in the show called the A-Team, and he said, "I love it when a plan comes together." And this...
are you Murdoch or who are?
I probably am Murdoch. It's a crazy one. But that's what it is. I mean, it's great to see some form. I mean, 5.5 years ago, there was a form here, but it was not a highly functioning, healthy form. And so many pieces and parts have been moved around, and the residents have been so gracious and patient.
That's right.
Because it's been a lot, you know, but now to kind of see that it took all of that to get to here, where with clarity you can see this is Glencroft,
That's right.
this is the pillars we stand on, this is how we do life. You don't just exist here, you really get to live here.
This is who we are.
This is who we are. That's
Yeah.
great. Cool.
Ross, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
appreciate it, man.
We
Thanks for
love
having
having
me.
you on today. You're a wonderful pillar director. We are so thrilled and privileged that we have you as a pillar director for social. So thank you for being here.
You bet.
We are so excited to bring you today's resident success story here with Zoe Life. And we have two amazing ladies joining us today, both of which have been a part of Zoe Life for a while and have had experiences in the Performance Center, working in our clinic with our Dr. Berg and a chiropractic team. And we wanted to introduce them to you guys to share some of their experiences, both personally and kind of what they've seen with Zoe Life, and just kind of tell their story. I think that's what's been so fun with the ZoeTV is
Absolutely.
just the ability to bring in some amazing people and let you talk and kind of share your testimony to your life and what brought you here. So I'm going to start with Julie Gerke and Melva Bergman. You guys are obviously mother-daughter, right? And you guys have been with us for a while. So if you guys want to tell us a little bit about your Zoe Life experience, what brought you here, some of the successes you've had within that system.
I haven't done a lot, but I've really enjoyed it. I've met a lot of people that I hadn't known before,
Yeah.
and just watching them exercise, and I get encouraged to exercise too.
Well, you do a good job. You get in there, you have a routine, right? We do some stretching
Some stretching and mostly walking.
and walking. But working on those two things, that's a big deal.
Right.
I mean, and that's what's been so important for people to understand it. Everybody's at a different level coming in. So not everybody's doing the same thing. So for you to get in there and do some stretching, do some walking, that's progress. That's a good thing. And then she goes and runs circles around everybody in there.
Right.
No, I started because, it's been almost a year ago now. I started on a new food program and have lost almost 100 pounds since then, but needed to start moving, exercising, and was able to finally. And then when I heard about the program, I wanted to come in and try it. So we both came together, and I was glad that Mom would come with me. And so I started out first with you just having us do the walking, doing the same thing that all the residents that you
Right.
have them do, so that you work on the balance and walking and stretching and just different things. And now I've finally progressed. I want to get to where I'm doing more cardio now because I'm still working on losing more weight. And so it's really been great. It's been so helpful, and I love all the equipment, and everybody in there is so helpful, and it's a nice atmosphere to come and work out.
Very cool. So how long have you guys been here? How long have you been at Glencroft?
I've been at Glencroft almost 7 years.
7 years.
Oh my goodness.
It's amazing what you said though
Yes.
about meeting people,
Yes,
right? Like have 7 years
absolutely.
you lived here, but you're still meeting people, and in this
Right.
environment kind of
You
cultivates
see new
that.
people all the time,
Right.
So tell us a little bit about some of your outcomes. How you feel from when you started the program to what you're experiencing now. Do you feel like you have more endurance?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
more stamina, you know, with regards to doing things?
Well,
Yeah, how
I think
about
it
you,
really
Julie?
helped Mom a lot. She just recently had surgery. She had the carotid artery cleaned out, and then she ended up with heart failure. But prior to that, she was working out, and I think that really helped her then to recover as well. I mean, even
Faster.
though she had the heart failure, it still helped to get back into the swing. You know, it zapped her energy, but she got back, and then once she got back in here and working out again, it helped. And she wasn't
Right.
afraid to come and try and work out
Right.
because she'd already been doing
She
it.
felt comfortable with it.
So yeah, I mean, she took it slow, but it
Right.
helped a lot. And for me, it's just given me a new, you know, more confidence. And it's just, again, it's just a new energy, and I can just do so much more. And it's helped with the walking. You know, when you have me just do the walking and everything, it's just really helped me feel comfortable and stable. And now it's just a strengthening. So
Love that. Oh, that's
Super
great.
cool. I got to tell a story
Okay.
because her daughter is a superstar athlete.
Yes.
She plays soccer. Tell us where she plays soccer.
She plays for Olímpico de Madrid in Madrid, Spain.
So high level soccer.
Yes.
Right? And so Julie had prepped me that she was coming in town, and she said, you know, she would love the chance to maybe work out in the performance center, and we do that for a lot of residents that they,
Right.
you know, if families staying here, they sign a waiver and we get them involved. But she goes, she's a special athlete, and if you want to spend some time with her, I think she would appreciate going through one of your workouts, because my background was in speed training and
Right.
doing stuff with soccer and whatnot. And we had her and her boyfriend at the time come in, and he plays soccer as well, right?
He plays it more recreationally,
Okay.
but yes.
But a good soccer player. So they came in and they were dressed out, they were ready to go, and instead of staying in Performance Center, we came in this room.
Oh, uh-huh.
I basically shut the door, we put on some music, and we did some real workouts.
Oh
like,
my
Like what we
gosh.
did
Oh,
with
yeah.
our athletes
that's
back at
wonderful.
Kierland. And it was fun I got my juices flowing because I was like, oh, I missed some of
Right.
this stuff. But they worked so hard, and we developed a program for her, and we emailed it to her, and she was able to do some of our stretching programs. And I was like, how cool is it that ZoeLife is taking on still this
Absolutely.
like younger intergenerational
Yes.
concept of working with these athletes, and then kind of building, even though she's at that level,
Yes.
we're still training them and doing some cool stuff.
Well, their
So-
team was off season, and she was preparing to go back and get back on. So she really wanted to have a good workout, and she was like, "Boy, he really worked us out good and got her ready."
Yeah, well, curiosity, how long has she played soccer? How old was she when she started?
She started playing soccer when she was 11
Oh,
in the 5th grade.
yeah.
That is cool. So so the boyfriend worked out with her at the same time, and we put him through his paces, and he was
Okay.
trying not to embarrass himself with his stretching in front of her.
Are they still boyfriend and girlfriend?
So then what happened right after workout?
Well, they were here for my mom's birthday as well, and when we celebrated my mom's birthday, he proposed to her, and they're now engaged.
Oh.
Steve's story is that they worked out so well that he just brought them so close together that they had to get engaged.
All him. It's all
I know.
that Steve.
That's all about ZoeLife. It's a circle of life. It was
Oh,
culminated
that's
in an
cute.
engagement.
That's a great
No,
story.
but it was a great story. But you could see the dynamics in
Yes.
play. They were awesome together.
So tell us about Dr. Berg, your love for Dr. Berg. There are numerous people, I will say, on campus that have a love for Dr. Berg. So.
I do absolutely love him. He has helped me so much, and then helped Mom. I first started coming to him when I was working out. I said to Steve, something's wrong with my shoulders. It was hurting, and so anyway, he connected me with Dr. Berg, who finally figured it all out, that it was a neck problem, and I will tell you, one of the first things that came about is, crazy thing, I haven't been able to sleep in a bed in like 9 years because just being in so much pain. Try to lay down, it's just too painful. So I told him that I'm just sleeping in a recliner, and he said, well, that's not good. I said, yes, but sleep is not, not having sleep is not good either. So at least I could sleep. But anyway, after the first time coming to see him, that night I was able to sleep about 4 hours in the bed. It took about three times to see him, but each time and so now it's just no issue. I can sleep in the bed all night long, no
Yes.
problem. I don't have the pain. And when that was going on, then after her stuff, when she started with her, had the heart failure, I was sharing that with him. And he said, bring her over. So I said, let's stop with me. I went and got her, brought her over. And it was amazing. The scar she had here was raised up really high and was painful. And he worked on her a few minutes and called me in, and it had just relaxed and dropped down.
I
It was so
very
surprising.
inflamed down to life.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And then the fluid on her chest, he worked on dispersing the fluid a little bit. And like 2 minutes, and then he says, how are you doing? She says, I can breathe now.
Oh my
And it
goodness.
has really helped her tremendously. So I love him so much. I teach a ladies' Bible study on Thursdays. It's off campus. And it's all senior ladies. And I told them, okay, I'm going to bring a chiropractor. So I worked it out with him. He came during Bible study. We had Bible study one by one. He worked on 6 women
Oh my
at the Bible
goodness.
study. They all rave about him. I just can't recommend him enough. If people haven't seen him, haven't come to him, and I don't like, when Steve first mentioned chiropractor, I was like, I don't.
It was like,
He's a different kind of.
He works more with
yes,
acupressure. It's
he
not the
does.
traditional.
He's a different
and-
type of
and it's-
chiropractor.
I
And
love him.
He says he does say about himself that he has healing hands.
He does.
So, yes.
He does.
So, that's wonderful.
well, we appreciate you guys coming
Thank you
in
so
and telling
much.
your story. We love outcomes where
Yes.
it's not just what we're doing in the Zoe Life role, but it's some clinicians
That's
that
right.
have bought into this concept that are able to put their hands on you guys and help. And,
Yes.
and we're all a team around you and all these residents. So I'm encouraged by your story and hope you are too. So thank you for this resident success story. And next week we're gonna have another one. We're gonna have a great
Absolutely.
one.
That's right.
That might not live up to this because
And
this
it might
is
be one of
pretty
you.
amazing, but odds are it is one of them. Thank you.